Well, I mean, obviously just a great win. It's the one we needed. ASU's had our number, 4 straight losses to those guys. They've been the tougher team. Tonight they came with a great effort, big time effort, hit huge shots all night long, stayed composed, made us work for everything. And so it took a big effort to beat them. And that's the thing about their team. They typically never beat themselves. You have to beat them. And I know these ones next to me wanted to beat them really badly. And they were laser focused in this game. And it took everything we had, of course. You know, it was hard to see Kennedy go down. We hope she's okay. But this team rallied. I thought Aaliyah was just huge in this game, making big-time plays. What a competitor she is. You know, and we needed a spark. She gave us that spark, and then we really executed. You know, we called, or there was a timeout. They called a timeout once we tied it with about 3:30 to go in the game. And the first thing, I huddled. I put everybody's head as close together because the place was crazy at that time. It was so loud. Everybody's going nuts because we had just tied it. Aaliyah went coast to coast on that layup. And I said, we were right here at their place. We had tied that game, as crazy as that game was, at 43, and then they finished us. And I said, right here, we haven't done anything yet. All we have now is a 0-0 game with 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You got, you know, an amazing crowd behind you, and now it's whoever's going to execute the best. And you got to give them a ton of credit for hitting huge shots, and then also a ton of credit for executing, getting the stops that we needed, but most importantly, scoring. And that was the difference in the 2 games. We made the plays. We executed well down the stretch and found a way to win. And I can't give this team enough credit for how much heart they showed, for Beaver Nation having our back like they do. And tonight was a night, you know, nobody in that building will ever forget for lots of reasons.
Mick, first, just how good does it feel to finally beat these guys after the last 4 games?
It's a nice feeling. It's been way too long, and great way to end the game. We had a lot of people down the stretch making big plays, and that's the way it should be for us.
I heard you guys just put that play in, the inbounds that you guys wanted today, and it hadn't been successful a lot in practice. What was going through your mind when you guys had there, and then what really worked on that? I mean, Aaliyah made it seemed like a really nice, you know, pass for you.
Yeah, I think you guys have seen a similar play with Katie McWilliams in years past, but Destiny made a nice hard cut to create space. Kat set a really nice screen for me to create separation. Aaliyah threw a perfect pass. And before that, Maddie threw a perfect pass to Kat to tie it up and even give us that opportunity.
Destiny, like Scott mentioned it, you guys got even on Aaliyah's thing there. Or right before that, you know, Robbie Ryan hit a couple of threes, and you guys go down 8. I mean, it seemed like maybe the game was slipping a little bit, you know, because it seemed you guys been battling so much. What did you guys think at that point? How big was Aaliyah coming through right there?
I think we talked a lot about toughness, and that's one thing is we weren't going to get out tough this game, and we're not gonna for the rest of the year is our goal, you know, come out every game and compete. And Aaliyah was huge for us. She was tougher. She was hitting great shots. She's a great shooter. Stepped up and gave us confidence the rest of the game, and I think everyone really rode that. So she was huge when she went on that run.
8-0 Aaliyah run.
Yeah.
For any of the players, do you win games like this because the moment's never too big, because you've been in positions like this before, not just this year, but in past years? Does that help in moments like you had tonight?
Yeah, I think in games past we haven't executed as well as we could have down the stretch to make the plays necessary to win. And today we did, and it showed that when we run our stuff the way we're supposed to and the way we are capable of, things like this happen tonight.
Kat, the first inbounds play that tied the game, is there a name for that play at all? Or is it
That's none of your business.
2-point play.
Yeah, don't want I like that name. That's what it's called.
What 2.6 seconds left here? What was kind of going through your mind at that point? They had just tied the game.
I mean, you can't be nervous at a time like that. You just can't. You have to just take it and run with it, I guess. So, but Maddie's pass was literally perfect. That made the whole play. Like everybody's from the inbound to Maddie to me. Like they set it up. I just had to make a layup, and that's pretty simple. So, yeah. So I mean, everything that set that up was what made the play.
It was interesting on both inbound plays. You and Michaela were both involved in a pick or the shot. I mean, just wondering, you talk about just 4 years of going through all this stuff and knowing what to do at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, just reps and reps and reps and practice, just the coaches figure out every little thing to, like, that's the main thing. The coach is just drawing everything up. Literally, we're just doing what they tell us, and that's how we win, honestly.
Cat's a huge weapon. People don't like helping out the cat, and they can't. So that opens up a lot for other people.
Michaela, you said the pass from Aaliyah was perfect, but your shot wasn't. Can you talk
Dramatic.
about what you were thinking? Pardon me?
Dramatic.
Dramatic. Talk about what were you thinking? Did you think it was in, or?
I was hoping. I had 0.4 seconds left, so I caught the ball and threw it up on target, and we waited and waited, and then it dropped in, so it was a good feeling, and then Aaliyah hugged me right after, so great win for us.
And then, Scott, you score with .4, and and we were all thinking that they had the ball. They just, what did you see happen there? They threw the ball away there? Did you know that you guys had the ball?
We knew that it would be ours. I knew that there was no tip. You could see that it went directly out of bounds. And so then, they're going to the monitor, which
Yeah.
It's possible there's either .1.
That's right, yeah.
Or maybe they put more time on. And so if this goes to .3 or more, we can catch and shoot. And so then we went right into drawing that play up, or reminding them, I guess,
So-
what we had done earlier today.
So you're down to a basket with 2.6 to go, and you win it in regulation. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, not great, not great. But it reminded. I mean, this team though has just a way about them. We are very competitive. This is a highly competitive group, very a seasoned group that knows how to win, does what it takes. I think we're still forming our identity this year. That's what I think today went a long ways towards who are we. Things seemed, it felt like everything was against us at times. Kennedy goes down, everything seemed to go the other way all game long, and they just keep coming. And, we got Beaver Nation to thank for being behind us and being supportive. But never say never. I mean, you think about our Boise State game a year ago, it was kind of similar. We're down 4 with 17 seconds, and we find a way to win it. And so tonight, we don't want to lose. We've got a lot of basketball ahead of us. We've got a lot of ability on this team, and we're finding ways to execute and win, like they said, and our best is still ahead of us.
Scott, you guys get the ball back with 14 seconds, down 2, and you guys went for a quick 2 with Destiny getting to the basket. Was that something you wanted? Did you feel like if you could extend the game maybe a little bit, or maybe what was kind of the thought? And maybe not go for a 3, but to do it so early, was it just find something that's open and
I just
go,
knew
or?
we needed a score. We needed a score, and I wasn't going to wait till the end on that. I just said let the play set up and then go. And, there's time, and we had timeouts. I was worried about that because I had to take 2 in the first half, which is the first time I've done that. Well, second time at Oregon. But this is only the second time I've done that all year because I like to keep them, for these moments. And so fortunately, we actually had more timeouts than they did going into the last 2 minutes of this game. And so I knew we had an extra timeout. I knew if we got the stop, and I trust our defense, they had a non-shooter hit a big shot, which they did a lot tonight. That's what I'm saying. I mean, their will to win is great, and they had a lot of people step up doing things they didn't normally do. Fortunately, she left a little time for us.
Offense.
Scott, you said you put the lob play in either yesterday or today, but the backdoor play to Cat, you guys ran that a couple years ago to beat SC. So was that in the playbook already, or do you have to draw stuff up constantly because it's new personnel in new positions?
Reposition, remind. Today it's kind of funny because I got mad because we have that play, and I had to remind them what to do in that play, which made me upset. I'm like, you guys need to know this stuff, and it was one of those moments, that coach is like, well, let's move through this stuff. I'm just reminding you, we have this play, which will be unnamed to the media, and let's run this unnamed play, and we messed it up, and so I'm like, I have to teach this again, and so I taught it again. We executed it perfectly. We got it, and so how funny. And then the what we'll call the Katie McWilliams play, that play we've used. I mean, it beat Washington State up there. We used it against UCLA. So there's a time and a place for everything, and you just never know how things are going to align and when you might get something. And so fortunately, you got to get lucky sometimes. And it was lucky that those 2 things popped into my head earlier today to hit on them. I mean, if they wouldn't have, we would have run something different, but those seemed to work out great. So we got fortunate.
Until the fourth quarter.
And they've got to execute them, so you got to give them a lot of credit. Sorry, Gary.
until the fourth quarter offense was a struggle, but Destiny was the one person you had going. You talk about her game offensively.
Yeah, Dee is such a great breakdown player, and they really challenge you to make plays one-on-one. I mean, it's their style. They're very athletic. They're not overly big, but they are long at the guard spots, and they love that one-on-one matchup. So you got to, if you win your one-on-one matchup, you're going to get a decent shot, but they make that tough on you for 40 minutes. And so Destiny has the ability to break people down off the dribble, maybe as well as anybody we've ever had here. And so I thought Mick had a couple as well, because that's Mick's strength as well. And so, but Destiny, we needed her to break down, make plays for us, and she's such a great playmaker, so it kind of fit her game.
And you went to the man in the fourth quarter. Did you feel that was
Yeah. We could have executed better in our zone. You got to give them a lot of credit for hitting a lot of tough shots. And so we were going back and forth, man zone. And then, a lot of times we'll play a lot of man and then go to zone in the fourth. I mean, everybody knows that about us, and tonight it was the opposite. It's like, let's play a lot of zone. And then our man defense was the one that was the key down the stretch. They were so comfortable, shooting the ball. And then we got behind, and you can't let them stay comfortable. So give them credit. I mean, they came in prepared, and they played a great game.
Coach, it seemed like Taylor, for a huge chunk of the game, was kind of the go-to girl. I remember 3-4 buckets in a row.
Yeah.
She was botting inside, got it, and it was extremely physical. She had to step up even more so with Kennedy out. Can you just, I mean, it's not a shock anymore. She does it all the time, but can you just kind of talk about how big her role was, especially with Kennedy going down? Yeah,
they did. I mean, they're so athletic in there and so physical that they, push our posts off their spots. I thought Taylor did a good job battling. It's funny that the rebound fouls that she got, because I felt like she was getting shoved all over the place all game long. And so that's one of those one-on-one matchups. So Taylor inside is kind of like the people that can really penetrate well, against a one-on matchup on the outside. And so if you get Taylor the basketball, good things are going to happen, and they don't make that easy, though. They really make you work. And so I thought Taylor did an awesome job playing extended minutes tonight and got some big rebounds for us as well down the stretch.
Scott, I assume Kennedy will probably have an MRI tomorrow. If it comes back negative, could she play Sunday, do you think?
I have no idea, but I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question for the players. Girls, in the past 2 years, it was Marie, it was Gabby, it was Devin getting in the huddle and saying, we're not losing this game. Mm-hmm. Who is that person right now on the team?
I think it's still emerging. I think at certain times there's been people that step up and voice it. I know Maddie is feisty and has a great enthusiasm and has been a person that's really sparked us with her voice lately.
Scott, did Kennedy Brown's injury throw you off your game, or all the players, did her injury throw you off the game?
Well, we're prepared to play. When Taya went down earlier this year and our depth was hurt at that power forward position that Kennedy starts in, it caused us and forced us to go small. And I like that small lineup anyway as a nice change-up with Michaela playing the 4. It puts 4 aggressive scorers on the floor. At the same time, the ball really moves. It's, can we rebound out of it? Can we defend out of it? We've spent a lot of time with that lineup, so it just meant we would go to that more. And so tonight we played a lot with 4 guards, if you can count Mick as a guard, which we do, even though she plays all 5 positions, So, yeah, so it was something we've practiced. We just used it way more than, we'd probably hoped. Wait, can I just a sec? I got one more last thing before we all go. So I just want to read this really quick if I can. This person in the classroom, academic All-America, second team honoree, junior season, academic All-District in their sophomore year, 2-time Pac-12 All-Academic first team, graduated in 3 years with a bachelor's degree in biohealth science, pre-med, posting a 3.93 GPA, currently working on her master's in biochemistry and biophysics. The character component, Michaela is a team captain and fan favorite at Oregon State. She has proven to be a team leader and role model for teammates, local youth, and the community. She is service-minded and hardworking. According to her head coach, me, Michaela is as selfless as any human I have ever been around. She thinks about others every moment of the day, and she doesn't just think about it, she acts on it. Her leadership is at another level. In the community, Michaela started the Beavs Care program here in our athletic department, along with her teammate, Destiny Slocum. The program brings student athletes from multiple sports together for community service events, including baking cookies or for homeless shelters, making pizzas with local youth, and events at the Boys and Girls Club in Corvallis. Pivek's thesis project, was centered on finding efficient ways to get homeless people access to resources. Her honors thesis project. For her work, she was awarded a $5,000 grant, of which she promptly donated $1,000 to local shelters. She traveled to the Dominican Republic to do community service as part of the Beavers Without Borders program last summer. She has performed upwards of 257 hours of community service through Oregon State Athletics-sponsored events, including the Damn Worth It campaign, work with Southside Youth Outreach, and the Corvallis Women's Shelter. She also works extensively with local homeless shelters, where she was found a year ago, 1 hour after our UCLA game ended, serving dinner, and has helped organize food donation efforts. In competition, she's a decent basketball player too. She was preseason at All-America First Team selection by Lindy's. She was preseason All-Pac-12 honoree. Preseason watch list for the Cheryl Miller Award. 9th in Oregon State history for career rebounds, which is not even true anymore because she's higher than that. 14th in points. She'll finish in the top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists at the end of her year, which her senior year in her career, which no one else has ever done at Oregon State. She's all Pac-12 selection last year, All-American finalist last year, shot 53% from the floor last season, second best, and so you can look up this year's. She had 10 double-doubles last year, scored in double figures 31 times in 34 games last year. Has been a 4-year starter here at Oregon State, and should have a statue by the time she's done somewhere around here. This is her, basically, resume on the Senior Class Award, which is awarded to the female senior that plays basketball in our country, Division I level, that does it all in the classroom, with character, in the community, and in competition, and somehow is not a finalist for that award, which is an absolute crime. It's criminal. So I don't know who the committee is. This is the same award that Sydney Weiss won 3 years ago, and so I don't know if there's a moratorium on schools winning it twice. Sid was as deserving as anyone I've ever met. And Mick has, I have to say this, probably 10 times as much community service as Sid did, because she has sought it out more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And so I don't know if there's something that can be done about that, but it's a crime that she's not a finalist for this award, especially when I compare her resume with some of the finalists. And so it's an absolute joke, and it pisses me off, to be honest. This person deserves that award. The Senior Class Award should be named after Michaela Pivek.
Go Beavs.